Okay, so I work in all kinds of different media. I grew up in New York City. This is a shot of my neighborhood. And when I'm thinking about land and local and the themes of that, thinking about the environment in which you grow up is really important for how you understand your context and your landscape. And the density of New York City was really exciting to me. This is where I live now, taken from exactly the same height from a satellite. And the density is really, really different. I moved up to North Bennington because my family was there, and I was sort of afraid of being bored, culturally speaking, so I started paying attention to my environment in a very, very specific way. This is a bush that is near my house. It's 20 feet tall. It's 40 feet wide. This thing has been mesmerizing me since I was a kid. And this series kind of evolved out of a joke. I was sending images back to a couple friends of mine. This is a smoke bush at the Park McCullough. This is a beautiful, beautiful bush. I was sending images back to friends of mine in New York, a couple of photographers, and we'd go back and forth. I'd be like, haha, here's this series that I'm doing. It's called Bushes of Bennington County, based on that title of that movie and that book that was so popular. And I took about like 8 images, and I thought, okay, that illustrates the joke. The joke totally works, and that's that. And then I was talking to the curator of the Bennington Museum, because I really wanted to show there, and I was kind of throwing everything at him that I could. And he's like, I think you should extend this project. So 2,500 images later, I had an actual photo series called The Bushes of Bennington County. And I started getting obsessed with these bushes. There are so many, and each one each one has this wild personality, and I think it speaks to a hidden ideology. This is like Laurel and Hardy, this one. Outside of the Bank of Bennington main branch. I actually met the landscaper who does the bushes there. I think they have these incredible personalities, and personalities of their own, but also the personalities of the people who are keeping up with them in them too. You know, how much care do they give and how much neglect? Right. This is a city building, so it's like mostly the right shape. So I took a picture of this, and then like 2 months later, I was talking to a friend of mine, Dan Richmond, who's a sculptor in Bennington, and he came to see my show at the Bennington Museum of these prints. And he's like, dude, that's my bush. I was the one who landscaped those bushes. And it's very interesting the way that people take, there's ownership. These are little works of art. These are little sculptures. But there's also a lot of sadness to these bushes. They're kind of taken out of nature and made into little objects, commodities. You can buy them. Some are chained up. This is the most ridiculous planting I've ever seen. This is behind the Cinema 7, Stewart's Cinema 7. On the left is Joseph. On the right is Evie. I started naming them after my friends because they started reminding me of people. This one on the left, I don't know, it's like a falafel. It was planted, and I guess they didn't realize that it would grow. And there's all kinds of horrible architectural bush interaction things that go on. But if I'm going to be more serious, I do find this as a really kind of stark reality for these things. And I think it's part of our banal environment that we don't pay attention to. But in fact, there's tons and tons of information and inspiration just all around us. And these are both natural and cultural. So this is sort of like a vegetal ethnography in a portrait series. These are just, yeah. So in thinking about how I would sort of respond to this environment, I created a series of videos of me kind of breaking strange social norms or trying to understand the environment. That was that video we saw at the beginning. This is the printing process. I printed on a friend's printer, I think like 300 of the 3,000, and then edited them down from there. DJ Hallerman, the curator at BCA, saw them. This is at the Vermont Studio Center. I was there for Vermont Artists Week, making frames and shelves and prints and stuff, and he came by while it was all in process. And sort of the project is constantly in process because it's an ongoing taxonomy. I have not photographed even half of all the bushes in Bennington County, and I guess it's now my diligent job to do so. This is some install shots from the first installation at the Bennington Museum. The realization of a project from initial idea, that little spark of inspiration, expanding into a bigger project, it takes so much work. It takes so much work, and it was interesting to realize it in this way. So this is the first installation, and now, as of this afternoon, is up and installed at the BCA Center, and I hope you guys come and check it out. I'm very happy to bring the bushes of Bennington to Burlington. It's an exciting thing. Thanks.